Alright, so as you can see from the title of today's video and the snazzy thumbnail image of my dad pointing like, no, you're like this, you're like that. We're talking about the Cox kind of enterprise.
COX, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for that, Dad.
You're welcome.
You just spared me from becoming a meme. Mm-hmm. Talking about all of Cox's products.
Ooh, ooh.
Kids show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're not familiar, Cox Automotive is the largest, I'd say, automotive tech player in the space. I don't really know anyone who would compete with them.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has as many
entities.
I like that. I was going to say tentacles, but entities is even
well,
better.
When we're talking about Cox and then tentacles, I just feel like they get a little...
Yeah, whatever.
Kid show.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with a lot of the Cox brands, and we were going to run through a few of them and kind of talk about our take on what effect it may or may not have on the automotive space.
Yes.
And all this is speculative. We got nothing, please, no lawsuits, nothing like that.
I got nothing against.
All right.
Cox.
So Autotrader is a brand that they own.
Yeah.
Another one that's in this space, Kelley Blue Book, if I'm not mistaken, is a Cox Automotive brand.
Yeah.
And
how about Dealer.com?
Dealer.com. So those three in particular, let's start with them. Those are three that as car buyers you're frequently interacting with. You might not realize it, especially Dealer.com.
Yes.
But you are. So Autotrader and KBB, what's their business model, Dad?
Well, Kelley Blue Book is a used car value guide that both new car dealers, used car dealers, and the buying public use to help figure out what somebody's car might be worth. So, if you own, say, the auctions,
which they do.
Okay.
They own Manheim. They own Manheim International, and then they also own a company called, and forgive me here, I really am not, it's Jingzhengu. It's the used car auctions and valuations in China.
So between Kelley Blue Book, which is a guide to assist you in figuring out what the value of a trade is. Manheim Auctions, which has their Manheim Market Report, which helps the dealers understand what the cars are going for at the auctions to help allow the dealer to put a value on somebody's trade. Autotrader, which is a source for people to utilize when they're looking to buy a car.
And also just to mention, so Autotrader also connects with another company that they own called HomeNet, and HomeNet is actually kind of like that service that blasts out the inventory from each of the specific dealerships, which is managed most likely in their DMS, which is
Dealertrack,
which is also owned by Cox. And if they're not using Dealertrack, they might be using VinSolutions to help manage aspects of their inventory, which is also
or their pre-owned inventory, which they would store and utilize vAuto, which they happen to own that too.
And then if they're not using Dealertrack, jeez, there's so many.
Yeah, there are.
If they're not using what the heck's it called, Dealertrack, or VinSolutions, or vAuto.
Yes,
it's likely that their website's probably built on Dealer.com.
Yes.
So, and that's also owned by
Cox.
So they own kind of everything.
Yes. The only thing they don't own in this space are automobile dealerships.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah. I mean, A, I don't see any on the list. And B, I've never known them to own dealerships. They're not in the retail side of automobile sales. They're in the retail side of helping dealers.
Automotive technology.
Yeah. Okay. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they also own a company called Xtime, which manages and is used by all the service departments for scheduling appointments and integrating back to the DMS, which is another owned product.
Oh my God.
And then outside the traditional dealership space, they also own a company called Clutch, which does kind of like subscription services.
It helps dealers establish subscription services for the subscription business.
This burgeoning concept that people would rather pay more.
Yeah, that so far hasn't taken off. But honestly, I don't know why it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, if the average, if the average payment on a car in America today is $550 on a purchase, and then you have to factor in your automobile insurance and maintenance and all that. Okay, so let's say 550, another 300, you're up to 850. Okay, and in a lot of subscription services, you pay $750 a month. You get to utilize a vehicle. In the Volvo subscription service, it could be, an X40, let's say.
Well, but the Volvo one was OEM oriented, not
Yes,
dealer oriented.
yes,
but I understand.
but there are so you get to utilize, like, for a group that I used to work for, you could get like a BMW X5, or you could get a Porsche Macan, different types of vehicles, and it includes, you get to use the vehicle for a month. It includes all your maintenance. It includes your automobile insurance.
There's a use case for it.
They bring the car to you when it's time to switch out. If you decide you want a different type of car because you're traveling for a weekend and you need a larger vehicle, they'll do that for you. So if it's $750 or $800 or $900 a month, and you don't have to worry about anything, I don't know why subscription services haven't taken off, honestly.
No, I hear you loud and clear. And if and when they do,
Clutch will be there for you.
Cox will own it. So
Yes,
it's right
yes,
there.
yes.
So then one other business that they own, and then let's talk about kind of what we think the impact is of one company owning literally every piece of the buying process for vehicles. One other one that they own is a company called NextGear Capital.
Yes.
And I know you weren't particularly familiar with this one until I pulled up the list and I showed it to you. But they actually do floor planning. I mean, they do like the lines of credit essentially.
Yes.
So if you're a dealership, you don't have to pick up, let's say you're a brand new dealership, you don't have to pick up the phone to start calling banks to get a line of credit.
No, you call your friend at Cox.
So imagine that. You literally, if you want a turnkey car dealership, you call your rep at Cox Automotive, and they can check every single box for you.
They can check boxes you didn't even know you needed or had.
So, okay, so let's pivot the conversation, Dad, to I'm a car buyer.
Okay.
Should I be concerned about this? Like, should I be writing a letter to my congressman being like, hey, this doesn't seem fair?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that...
And that's a totally fair answer.
Yeah, I know that we have commenters on our YouTube channel who suggest that it's monopoly and they're artificially inflating everything. Well, I don't know that they're artificially inflating everything because, well, the dealers still have to go and buy the inventory.
Yeah.
Are they utilizing some of Cox's technology and information to decide what something might be worth? Yes, they are. But ultimately, all the power lies with the consumer. They're the ones that determine what the market is. They're the ones that determine what they're willing to spend. So is it really a monopoly that Cox has all these things? If the ultimate customers don't spend the money, then it's not.
Well, no, that's not the definition of a monopoly, but
okay,
I understand. Well, no, I'm just saying.
Not. No, I understand. But is it? I guess my point is, are they artificially inflating the prices that people pay for things? And my answer would be no, because ultimately, the consumer is the one that determines what something's worth to them.
Well, yeah, and I think that happens across the board. But I don't think that answers the question, which I also think is fair because it's a hard question to answer.
I don't know.
In my opinion, I don't necessarily think it's healthy the way that their business has been structured around acquisitions and the fact that they have their tentacles entwined in literally every aspect of the car business, because I think whether there are anti-competitive aspects happening right now or not, like, it breeds the potential for them. Yeah. And also, as a consumer, I don't know how comfortable, and I haven't read, so this is purely speculative, I haven't read like the terms of service on all these different websites, but I've got to imagine your data from one is probably covered in some sort of terms of service for the Cox Automotive brands, and it's shared everywhere. And to me, that's a little bit of a red flag in the sense that I wouldn't mind more competition and more independent companies that can really focus and hone in on their area, especially. No, I'm not saying us. Like, I appreciate what we're doing, but we're definitely not going to take on Cox. I mean, we are in a sense, but like,
but the hope is they take on us.
No, I don't know.
No.
I mean, I can look in the camera and be like, I do not want to get bought out by Cox someday. That's not why you and me are sitting here.
Okay, good.
Is that why you're doing it?
I'm doing it for whatever
I don't want to.
whatever reasons you have. I'm here for you.
Well, I don't. I also don't want that.
Yeah, and for them, I'm here for our audience.
Yeah, I really hope so. Because say you're here for me, and then I don't know. I don't like that, but I don't know. It's a
just a proud dad.
You're just a dad. You can never make your son happy.
Well, that's for damn sure.
Is Cox anti-competitive, or is it a negative thing that has happened in the space? You can't say. We don't know the answer. But it is important to recognize that when you are interacting with these web properties or interacting with the dealership, they're most likely all interconnected.
Yeah.
You know, if you make a Google search somewhere and you end up on AutoTrader, they can probably track your whole life cycle all the way through the dealership and the dealer.com website and then in the service drive, and they're all connected.
Yeah, just like your cell phone data is all connected to.
No, that's the
everybody
truth.
knows everything about you. Just get used to the fact that everybody knows everything about you. Okay, it's pretty simple. Or something like that.
Just accept it. Big Brother's here.
Been here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So if you were ever curious about all the different brands that Cox owns and what impact it has on the market, you still probably don't know either of those things, but at least you've gotten our take on it.
And we didn't even talk about half of them.
Yeah, seriously. So I'll put the list down in the description. They own 24, 25, 26 companies nationally and internationally.
Yes.
Everything they have in the States, they have globally, which is pretty insane if you think about it.
Yes, they're pretty big.
Yeah, they really are.
Yep. Well, there you have it.
Cox is big.
Yep. You know, we used to have Cox Cable when we lived in Arizona.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the email address was Cox at Home or Cox whatever, Cox.net. I don't know. Cox something. Every time you think cars, think
this is
Cox.
going to be the first video that we get flagged for like adult content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think cars, you think Cox.
All right. Bye-bye.